Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here for WeAreChange.org, and I'd like to take this opportunity to shine some light on a person who has gained a lot of power, prominence, and influence in our society over the last 20 years. And that person is Jeff Bezos, founder and CEO of Amazon.com. Now, before we get into what Mr. Bezos is currently up to, we should really take a look at his beginnings. Now, in 1994, Bezos traveled across the country into Seattle to discuss business deals in what would become the original Amazon.com. Now, in the beginning, Amazon was nothing more than a warehouse for books and then e-books, and really took the idea of internet shopping to the next level. A lot of people didn't think that Mr. Bezos was going to be successful, as he chose to take financial loss after financial loss after financial loss in order to expand the business.
But the company losing even more money than they had estimated. The net income of the company losing, in spite of bringing in $19.3 billion, they lose $15 million in the quarter in terms of net income. So that's a much worse loss than the year before, when the company lost only $7 million on $15 billion in revenues. A lot more in revenues, and the loss doubles to $15 million.
They're reinvesting constantly in the business. And if you haven't bought into this story, I'm just watching the stock down about 5% right now in after hours. If you haven't bought into that, then what exactly are you buying into?
Amazon is literally the biggest online arena in the world. You can get virtually anything from Amazon.com, whether it be toothpicks, high-end computer equipment, or even auto parts. Amazon.com has you covered. Now, on top of that, his service of Amazon Prime has cut into things like iTunes and Netflix with their music and movie service. So it would seem that Mr. Bezos has more influence than ever. But we really need to take a look at some of the other things that Jeff Bezos is invested in. For starters, in the early 2000s, he began work with a commercialized space company, which after failed launch attempts seems to be coming to fruition. In fact, Blue Origin, one of his aerospace companies that he's invested in, is set to have its first human flights sometime within this year. Whether or not that's successful, it just shows that Mr. Bezos is absolutely looking to the future and future technologies. Now, what may be most alarming about Jeff Bezos is the fact that in 2013, he acquired the Washington Post. Now, obviously, this is going to give him influence in the minds of many Americans across this country, as he is now very heavily invested in a media operation.
So is the Washington Post going to become a truly global newspaper?
Yeah, that's what we're working on. So we're working to become a national and to some degree global newspaper.
Now, some people may see this as a conflict of interest just based in his owning of Amazon alone. But what may be the most alarming is that Bezos took a $600 million contract from the Central Intelligence Agency in order to build them a cloud server. Now, of course, this $600 million should have no influence whatsoever on what's published in the Washington Post, but could there be a conflict of interest there? Absolutely. Now, with Mr. Bezos already heavily invested in future technologies, such as quantum computers, artificial intelligence.
I think natural language understanding, I think machine learning in general, artificial intelligence, it's probably hard to overstate how big of an impact it's going to have on society over the next 20 years. So it is big.
Drones, and even automation. We really need to keep an eye on what kind of propaganda he may be selling to the public through his media organization. He's a huge investor in D-Wave, the first commercial quantum computer company that is heavily invested in bringing artificial intelligence into our lives. We also have to take a look at the fact that most of Amazon's factories are completely automated, making us ever more obsolete.
Meet Amazon's newest holiday workers, the Kiva robots. At this fulfillment center in Tracy, California, more than 3,000 of them cruise the warehouse floor, helping employees fill millions of orders.
Now, obviously, as we move towards the future, this is going to be a continuing trend with somebody who has close ties to the CIA, owns his own media organization, and sells virtually everything through his online store. Jeff Bezos, we're watching you. And as always, if you like this report, please share it on social media. And don't forget to go visit WeAreChange.org. It's only through your financial support that reports like this are possible. Thank you very much.